You know the saying, with age comes wisdom.
And wisdom is important when you're leading the nation. Marcelino Benito is breaking down the ages of past U.S. presidents and what it might mean for the 2020 election.
To be leader of the free world, you have to be at least 35, but no U.S. president has ever been quite that young. They tend to run and win after a bit more life experience. The oldest U.S. president ever sits in the White House right now.
I think I'm pretty competent, right? Don't you think so?
Donald Trump was 70 when elected. The youngest, Theodore Roosevelt, took office at 42 years old in 1901. The most popular presidential age, 54 and 51. A total of 10 presidents elected at those ages, including George W. Bush and Franklin D. Roosevelt. Iconic leaders like JFK, he was only 43. Abraham Lincoln, 52. Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, both 57. Houston's beloved George H.W. Bush moved into the White House at 64. But with another presidential election on the horizon, 2020 could break records, and here's why. The Democrats have several older candidates fighting for the White House. Bernie Sanders would be 79 if elected in 2020, smashing President Trump's record. Former VP Joe Biden wouldn't be far behind at 78. Senator Elizabeth Warren would be 71. There are plenty of younger options too, including South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg. He's just 37. Julian Castro is 44, and big names like Booker, Harris, and Klobuchar all hover in their 50s. History tells us the average age of every Democratic president has been 52 years old. So the question is, will voters want young or old this time around?
Only one person's going to win. I hope you know who that person is. Goodbye, everybody.
Trump is hoping voters want to stick with older. If he's reelected at 74, he would break his own record and leave office at 78 years old.